That's you live.
Good morning to everybody from Auckland Nature Kindergarten, the home of the virtual nature school. I'm delighted to be with you today because today is a Monday and that means it's the beginning of our new inquiry. The good thing about these inquiries is that we start them and it takes about a week just to get going, but sometimes our inquiries can go on for weeks and weeks and months and months. So these are really good starting points for you on your journey to investigate and enjoy the beautiful natural world that we live in. So if you find any pictures, if you draw anything or you want to share with us and you want to put it on Twitter, don't forget our little @ sign, which is @VNatureSchool. So tag us in those photographs, or of course, we love to see your photographs and your films in your regional Facebook groups. If you're joining us internationally, then there's a Facebook group just for you, which is about International Virtual Nature School. So join us there and we'll be able to carry on our conversations and our discoveries together. So this week, we're really building on some of the interests that we saw last week. So we were looking last week at rocks, and so many people started to discover these things called fossils. And the fossils were inside some of the rocks that they've been exploring. So today, we've decided to start the inquiry around bones and big teeth. So let's have a look at our film whilst we wake up, and people can start to add some things into that chat box. And then we'll come back and maybe have a bit of a discussion about what you fancy doing today. Off we go. Let's watch the film.
Hello and welcome to our inquiry around bones and big teeth. I'm Claire and I'm going to be helping you through this inquiry. We're going to start thinking about what we can explore and discover around bones and big teeth. The question that I think we've got to ask ourselves when we look inside our talking tub is, how do we know what was here when you can't actually see it? So there are lots of things that used to be in this world that we live in, but we can't see them anymore. But they leave us clues. They leave us things that give us a trace of what they were. And so this inquiry is about being an investigator. It's about looking very closely at things. Now, sometimes we look closely through tools like cameras. Sometimes we look closely through things like magnifying glasses and microscopes and apps on our phone. So we're going to need to really concentrate because we are going to be out there in the natural world trying to find clues, hints, traces, things that have been left as evidence of animals and plants and what they've been up to when we can't see them. When you look very closely, you've got to concentrate, whether you're using a magnifying glass or you're just using your eyes, taking that time to look beyond the obvious and find all the missing pieces to fit together like a big jigsaw. There are people in the world called archaeologists and paleontologists, and they are the people who excavate. They go into the earth and they dig down into the layers that we can't see anymore. And when they go really deep into the earth, they find bones, they find traces of things that used to live on the earth, but aren't alive anymore. Here's one find, and they found these lumpy rocks. Now, what on earth would you think they were if you found those in your back garden? Well, they've kind of got lines on them we can see. They're kind of in the earth. They look like they've got ridges. I wonder what they could be. So what the archaeologists do, and they dig them up and they take them out of the earth and they clean them up. And when they clean them up, they can look really closely at them through microscopes and magnifying glasses. I wonder if you've got any more of a clue as to what these might be. There's something to do with teeth, and they belong to this. This is a woolly mammoth, and a woolly mammoth doesn't live on the earth anymore, but it used to live here. And so all we've got is a hint. We've got a trace. We've got a clue that they used to live on the earth and what they used to eat and where they used to live. They're all pieces of this puzzle. The nearest living relative is an elephant, and you might think, well, there's nothing bigger than an elephant. But actually, when you look at their different sizes, the woolly mammoth was bigger than an elephant. And just to help you work out just how big that is, I've put a little 4-year-old person right there on the screen. So one of the things that we can find out about these animals is the size of them. We can find out what they used to eat. We can look at all the different things they leave behind. Now, this is a footprint. It's not a footprint of a woolly mammoth. I'm wondering if the experts that we have in our virtual nature school can work out what made this giant footprint. Well, this particular dinosaur is going to appear later on in our inquiry, but today we're going to focus on the idea of footprints. You may have Tyrannosaurus Rex in your collection. He may not be quite as big as real life, but we do know that he was a very big dinosaur. What we've got to do is to look at the footprints that are around us. We can go for walks and find clues. So whose footprint is this? If you were to look at the footprints of the people in your house, could you work out whose footprint it is? We go for a walk and we leave traces. Now, this is a snowy picture and we don't have snow at the moment, but we can go to the beach and we can see these footprints in the sand. Sometimes we see footprints in mud. This is a footprint. And what's good about this is we can actually see the bird that made the footprint because he's still with us. This is a Canadian goose. And one of the things that's really handy is if you can identify the thing that made the footprint, it's really good idea to try to remember it. So when you go outside, I want you to be thinking. I want you to be looking because all sorts of people will walk through where you live. Through a pathway like this, or whether you're walking down through the town, there'll be lots of clues as to who is around that space. Things that you might find useful, well, a magnifying glass is always jolly handy. If you like measuring things and finding out how big they are, then we can use a ruler. We might want to take a pen and a notepad so we can draw our ideas. We might want to take a phone and maybe somebody who's with you can help you take photographs and help you identify some of those footprints that you find. Sometimes what we do is we find footprints that go into the ground, like this one. This is somebody's footprint and we can see that it's made holes in the sand. We can put our hand beside it and that can help us work out the size of the footprint. Sometimes when you find holes like that, you want to remember them. So if you want to, you could make up some Play-Doh and take that dough with you in a wee bag. And then when you find a footprint, you push it into that footprint and you'll be left with the shape of it that you can bring back to your house and dry out. So you just need half a cup of water. You need half a cup of salt and a cup of flour. And you mix those together, put them in a bag and take them with you in your rucksack. Now, if you're somebody who likes to be a bit more detailed, I'm going to tell you about this footprint. This was trying to take a cast, as we call it, of a tiger. And a tiger was coming through this area. And so this person has put those 4 sticks around it and they've made a mixture to pour into the footprint. Now, the things you're going to need if you want a detailed cast for some of the older members, perhaps, of our little community, you might want to see if you can find yourself some plaster of Paris, some sort of powder that you can mix up with some water in a bowl with a stick, and then you make it there and then when you're outside, and you put your little sticks around your footprint like a frame, and you pour in your mixture. And then you only have to wait a little while and plaster of Paris will set very quickly and you can bring it back with you and share your discoveries. Here's a close-up of that. You can see they've just put those sticks around it to stop the plaster of Paris flowing out all over the ground. If you can make a little dip around it, that might be enough to hold in your material. So you need to get yourself ready. Get that rucksack on, put the things in the rucksack that make you feel comfortable as an explorer. Get yourself a stick, get yourself a nice bottle of water to drink and give you the energy to keep going on an adventure. You might enjoy mapping out the places that you find good footprints. You might be able to draw your own footprints or make up a footprint game where you make footprints. However it is that you want to explore being a detective, being somebody who's searching for clues, I want you to investigate footprints, the traces that things leave behind that give us a clue as to who they are. I look forward to hearing all about your discoveries. See you soon.
Hey, so hello to people from Stirling. Lovely to have you here. That's great. Hello from East Lothian we've got. That's wonderful. So Nicola's talking about Finn and Abigail, and they're going to meet up with Olivia. I wonder if they're going to go and find a dinosaur maybe in the park. That's going to be pretty exciting. Good morning to you, Kirsten. So lots of people online from all over Scotland, which is really delightful. People watching this from all over the world, and each of us, which is really interesting, have different types of soil, different types of rock that we discovered last week, but we also have different dinosaurs and different animals, therefore, that live in our place. So what you're doing today is going out and having a little look to see what clues can you find, what traces of these animals are in your area, because that's essentially what those archaeologists do when they look deep into the earth and they find bones. So you're going to have to be an investigator. So here at Aucklain, we've got lots of children who are just over the gate, and they're getting ready to go out into the forest to look for footprints. It's been quite dry weather here, so we're going to have to really look quite carefully at the damp edges of our puddles. We've got friends coming in from Dundee, which is fabulous. We've got friends coming in, as I said before, from Perth and Kinross. We've got friends all over the place who are all going to be working together on a dinosaur investigation. So I look forward to hearing about all of your different ideas and all of your different theories. I think we're ready to pack our rucksack, get our notepad in there, get that ruler, get all the things that you need together, and let's go out for a journey of discovery. I'll see you later on. Bye.